Now, is it true? So did they ask? Are you related to Garcia's kids? Yeah. Let's see. Well, I'll start with this. Okay, so good morning, everybody, and welcome to Garcia's on West Central. And we're going to go ahead and get started with some announcements here today as the art bus rolls by. So we are at one of Albuquerque's many legendary restaurants. We have a lot of them in town, but certainly one is the Garcia's. And there's also a related tent business that we'll talk about in a little bit. So we love our family businesses here in New Mexico. And in the city of Albuquerque, we know that we've been trying to keep everyone healthy and safe, but we also are trying to do everything we can to try and provide alternatives to keep restaurants open, alternatives for families to have fun outside that are all safe and appropriate under the health order. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, I do want to mention we're going to have a guest speaker from the Chamber of Commerce. We're very fortunate to have the CEO from the Chamber here. The Chamber is working on a related supportive initiative, and so Terry Cole is going to speak about that after me. And then we're also going to hear about some details with respect to the programs that we're announcing and how folks can take advantage of them. So, as is custom, we're going to start with just a couple of health updates from our Joint Information Center. And so the first is that there's a deadline for farmers and ranchers to apply for USDA Corona Food Assistance Program. The deadline's coming up. It's August 28th, so there's still some time. But this is a very, very helpful program. A lot of people forget in the metro area we actually have farmers and ranchers. So just take a drive down Rio Grande and you'll understand that actually agriculture is also important even in the city of Albuquerque. So we want everyone in the metro to apply for this funding. Also, the Department of Workforce Solutions has reported unemployment rate in June dropped to 8.3%. It sort of rose, depending on how you look at it, from 9.1 in May. So that's actually a modest, some modest good news there. Now, many of also NMDA services are, and let me just check what that is an acronym for. NMDA? Okay, the State Department of Agriculture. Their services are normally provided in person, such as licensure trainings. They've temporarily moved to an online format, and necessary in-person activities and certain inspections by the State Department of Agriculture field staff can be scheduled. And that also includes use of personal equipment and so forth. The Albuquerque Zoo and Botanic Gardens are going to start live streaming music on Government TV Channel 16 and on the Albuquerque YouTube channel and ABQ Biopark and ABQ Special Events Facebook pages. Thursday, July 23rd from 6 to 7 p.m., audiences can enjoy a performance by Reviva Live from the zoo. As a reminder, this is a super popular program, Summer Music at the Zoo, that we obviously can't do because of social distancing. So we are doing it online, and that usually attracts tens of thousands. So hopefully folks will take advantage of this other option. Now, just a reminder that masks are required in all outdoor spaces, and we've been getting a lot of folks, asking questions at open space and golf course. And look, technically, you are supposed to wear your mask in those environments. Okay, let's talk about restaurants and about families. So when coronavirus struck, we acted quickly to support the most vulnerable and to try and save lives. And for us, that included 200,000 meals some of which are prepared by restaurants all up and down Central and all throughout our city. And those meals mostly went to seniors, but they also were part of our effort to suspend evictions, which, by the way, that suspension for all city properties is still in place, as is the state ban on evictions. But you do have to fill out a form at the state level to receive those protections. So if you don't fill out the form, there's no way for anyone to know that you meet the criteria. Now, from day one of the pandemic, also we know that the economy is continuing to be perhaps one of the biggest challenges associated with the pandemic, other than, of course, saving lives. And we know that, unfortunately, this situation is going to continue for a long time. Millions nationwide have been laid off. And we started by giving 140 businesses direct grants to keep afloat. And about a third of those were restaurants. And we literally gave them $5,000 to not have to close forever. That was basically what that program was about. Now, recently, of course, restaurants have been especially hit hard by the indoor dining closure pursuant to the state law. So what we're trying to do is really, what can the city do for the next 2 to 3 months to help our restaurants survive? And so for us, we're also trying to understand for the long haul, again, 2 to 3 months. Unfortunately, we all hope next week everything gets better. But we want to let everyone know and prepare everyone for and have city programs for months of challenges around things like indoor dining. Now, for us, what we are doing is, number one, we're continuing to waive all registration and inspection fees. This actually amounts to several millions of dollars in the equivalent of city subsidies to restaurants. And so we're continuing to waive all of those. We are also continuing to allow all, if you request a permit, sidewalk dining, now allowed. Parking lot dining, now allowed. And so again, you do have to follow the permitting occupancy process, but we are waiving the fees associated with that, and we're just saying yes. Now, for us too, we also know that there's about 30 restaurants who've applied for this, and that's great. Some of them are pending, some have already been approved, like Garcia's. And so for us, it's the equivalent of about a $2.5 square foot value that we are letting restaurants use essentially with no cost, other than the cost that they might have to incur if they choose to. You don't have to, but to put up things like tents. And so we have many local tent companies. Obviously, because we're at Garcia's, we also are acknowledging that the Garcia's are lucky to have one side of the family in restaurants, the other side in tents. But what we want to announce today is that for those of you who don't have family in the tent business, the city's going to help cover the cost. So we are now floating $200,000 to give to restaurants so that they can afford tents for outdoor dining. And so those will probably be in chunks between $2,000 and $10,000 depending on how big the facility is. And that program is going to be run through our Metropolitan Redevelopment. We're going to talk about the details of that in just a little bit. Now, essentially, too, this is all a slice of some of the CARES money that we've received federally. So let's pause there and talk about how our Chamber of Commerce is helping businesses work on a lot of things, but also help them deal with the mask side of the equation. So with that, I'm going to bring up Terry Cole, wonderful champion of our community. Terry, come on up.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Mayor. Gosh, it's great to be here. I am very thankful to have an opportunity to squeeze in to the Mayor's news conference to talk a bit about the campaign that the Chamber of Commerce started launching last week. Our campaign is a campaign to bring business back. It's a campaign that encourages everyone, not only in the business community, but the public at large, and not only in Albuquerque, but throughout the state, to wear a mask. We believe that our economy and its comeback is clearly related to how well we can mitigate this virus. If we cannot mitigate the virus, then our business community and our economy stays closed. We believe that if you wear a mask, it can go a long, long way to being at the ground level of the fight for this virus. We think it's a reasonable request to wear a mask, and we are urging all New Mexicans to fight the virus in this way. You know, many of you know this, and boy, Don, you at Garcia's, being a wonderful, long-standing business member of our community, know how important the restaurant community is to our city, and all of our businesses are important to our city, of course. And this virus has just devastated all of them. So we want to try to get business back so that we don't have a protracted situation here where we're all shut down for a long, long period of time. So we say bring business back and wear a mask. We are distributing our graphics to our board members who are sending it out to their customers. We are sending it out to chambers throughout the state of New Mexico. We are customizing the graphics for them so that their logos are on it in their community. And so our plan is to distribute this message, wear a mask, bring business back, at scale throughout the state of New Mexico. We have great optimism that this will work, this will help, let's say. We have great optimism, obviously, that we'll all get through this. And, you know, just in closing, I want to take an opportunity to thank Mayor Keller, because he has done an amazing job, and it's a very difficult one, to balance out the health issues with regard to this virus and the economic issues. But he has done a wonderful job of giving strategy with the same level of importance to both of those concepts. So, Mayor, I'm not sure where you went, but I just, on behalf of the Greater Albuquerque Chamber of Commerce, the business community in the city, we just thank you so much for being sensitive to both sides of the equation here, which is critically important. So with that, I'm just happy to be here, and I'm going to put my mask on now. Because wear a mask, bring business back, right? Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And also appreciate the Chamber's balancing act as well, in a sense that I know it's tough too, because you're there to support businesses, but also respecting that health side. You forgot your notebook. Thank you. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the specific aspects of this program, the support program, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what we're doing for families as well. So with that, I'm going to bring up the manager of our Metropolitan Redevelopment Program, Karen Iverson. Karen?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm really excited to be here today to offer this innovative, targeted assistance to restaurants and cafes to expand their outdoor seating on sidewalks, in their parking lots, on the on-street parking in parquitos, and with targeted street closures. We've seen many examples of both functional but also creative outdoor dining throughout the city, but we know this has a cost, and we want to be there to assist restaurants in implementing this adaptive strategy. The city has these 4 different types of outdoor dining, and with each type we have a different funding level. If you want to do sidewalk right-of-way outdoor dining, we are offering $2,500. For private parking lots that are expanding, like here at Garcia's, we're offering $3,500. For those who want to develop outdoor dining in the on-street parking in a parquito, we're offering $5,000. And for those who want to look at a targeted street closure, we're offering $10,000. And for the street closures, we might recommend that several businesses come together that might be clustered. The funds may be used for the purchase or rental of tents, tables, chairs, misters. We're really fortunate in Albuquerque to have great weather to support this, but it's a little hot right now. You can also purchase or rent barriers to barricade and demarcate the outdoor dining area, signage, art, creative displays, the purchase of PPE or cleaning supplies, insurance. disposable materials for eating outdoor, or the planning, design, and construction of the parquitos, city, any kind of fees that you need to pay, or additional staffing around security or implementing COVID-safe enforcement. Restaurants and cafes within Albuquerque city limits are eligible. They must meet the following qualifications. They must have a current City of Albuquerque business registration and applicable business license. They must be in good standing with New Mexico Taxation and Revenue, and they must have a temporary outdoor dining permit before they apply for the funding. So they need to go and get the appropriate land use permit, and then they can apply for funding. Eligible applicants will be entered into a lottery with a preference for women and minority-owned businesses and businesses that are located within a Metropolitan Redevelopment area or a recognized New Mexico Main Street. And within 90 days from receiving the funds, we will ask for proof of use. Folks can find the application and all of the guidance at cabq.gov/outdoor-dining. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, Karen. And a couple of things just to reiterate on that. I know a lot of folks have been saying, why can't we close the street and make it all restaurants? We can now, but we need the restaurants or a neighborhood association or a nonprofit to step up and apply and do all the permitting and so forth. But council passed also some legislation, which we really appreciate Councilor Benton for doing, and the other councilors for supporting it. So now basically, as long as there's a private partner, we will be able to do that. And that's a good segue into our just family alternatives right now during these tough times. I want a reminder to everyone that as a city, we're trying to continue to provide outdoor options for our families. The Botanic Gardens remains open. It is under a special protocol for you have to sort of make a reservation or a time slot, but that's been working out well. We also are offering drive-in movies, which happen at our Balloon Fiesta Park. They're running all the weekends in July, and we're looking at a way to extend those. Those also have been selling out, so register ahead of time if you can. Also want to remind folks our farmers markets are now again permitted to open. Everything is limited in a different fashion. Masks are required, but the downtown growers market is open this morning right up the street, and the rail yards market is now open for a limited in-person shopping as well. So we also want to let people know that we're looking at continued alternatives in different ways, maybe perhaps to use the rail yards as a streetery and so forth, and even perhaps some other forms of entertainment from your car out at places like the rail yards and the Balloon Fiesta. So we're going to continue to look for those family fun options, and then again remind everyone that enjoy our open space and enjoy our parks, but know they are crowded. You've got to wear your face mask and stay 6 feet apart with your social distancing. And I think most importantly, try and enjoy them and then get home, because they are very heavily used right now. And so for us, we're very fortunate in Albuquerque to, one, keep those open, two, have them in the first place. Most cities do not have the kind of open space that we have. So I think with that, let me wrap things up and we'll take questions. But just by saying that all of these efforts are really designed to keep our residents safe in Albuquerque. And Albuquerque has demonstrated so far, despite our challenges, we've been one of the healthiest major cities in America. We have case number rates and death rates that are half Phoenix, Arizona, and Denver. And I know more than ever, a lot of people are very proud to live in the Duke City. Now, I know that means we have a lot of challenges. We still have to deal with keeping us at that level. And that's also what all these reminders are about. And lastly, let me just mention, too, takeout. Because we believe, unfortunately, we might be in this situation for a long time, there is a premium on helping restaurants figure out takeout. And so, as a good visual, again, we will allow you to use your street not only for dining, but also to set up parking for takeout. And Garcia's right here is a good example of how you can set that up relatively low cost so that you could actually serve people sort of, drive-in style. So we can turn everyone into that old-fashioned drive-in restaurant. And so that's part of this program as well. So with that, we'll take some questions if there are any. Oh, and I forgot the restaurant owner of the hour. We saved him for last because we love hearing from our own business owners And so, Dan Garcia, why don't you come on up and to speak on, of course, Garcia's Kitchen as owner, but also just as a business person supporting our city and trying to keep families fed.
Where's my section over here? Where's my notes at?
Oh, I might have given them to Terry Cole. Were they on a notepad?
I think they...
Okay.
Well, I just want to say, first off, thank the city for even allowing this, because in a normal condition, I guess you can say, they don't let you put tents in parking lots except for maybe over the weekend or for a couple of days or something like this. And the other thing is, when we went to apply for the permits, they made it relatively easy for us. Everybody was very accommodating. So I think whoever applies for this, you know, will be able to get this done relatively easy. I do feel bad for the businesses out there that maybe don't have a big parking lot. But so, I mean, there's always ways to figure things out. You know, I guess you can call Garcia's Tents and maybe they can help you figure that out. Or the other tent companies. I don't want to just focus on our family business. You know, I just want to say this has been a hard struggle. And if we couldn't put the tent out here, it would have been really hard for us to survive. I mean, we're doing okay, but putting a tent out there is not always easy. You have to have misters, it's hot, you have more labor. Sometimes employees don't like it, but we're lucky that we have great employees. They like their job and they want to work, and we're just trying to feed the community. And our customers, as you can see, that they're out here and they're willing to do it. You know, I don't know, I don't want to say it like this, but I think my sister has this little crystal ball in her back room, because when the governor was allowing restaurants to come back into the business, we chose not to do it. But she lives in California, and she was just saying that, you know, let's be safe, brother. We got to worry about our employees, and we got to worry about our customers. So she was saying, let's just wait a little while, because I was trying to convince her to come in, let customers come into the restaurant. But we always like to be in agreement. So I said, okay, that's fine. We'll work with it. And then when they stopped people coming back into the restaurants, it actually helped our business again, because people coming into the tents and stuff. So I think that's pretty much all I have to say, but I thank the city, and I wish everybody luck, and we're going to get through this somehow. This can't last forever, you know, pray to God, you know, so thank you. Come and join us at Garcia's. Nope, that was okay.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, well, thank you.
Alrighty, and with that too, certainly want to just acknowledge not everyone has a parking lot, and we understand that. But if you're near a city parking lot or a city sidewalk or a city street, we'd love to work with you. All right, and with that, questions from folks. It's a good question, so I'll try and repeat it for folks. It's a little bit about how soon can folks actually get this assistance. So I'm going to hand it over to Karen Iverson, who's administrating this, and she can answer that. There is one item I wanted to mention. We learned when we rolled out our first $1 million of small business support, the demand, it was over 10 times subscribed. And so one of the things we learned is that we're going to do a weighted lottery. So I think she mentioned that, but we'll do a series of lotteries. So a lot of it depends on the timing of the first lottery.
Thank you, Mayor. So the permit process, we hope that through the land use permitting that's being turned around within 2 to 3 days, and then they can apply with that permit on the online form. It's very simple. We will hold the lottery depending on how the applications come in. We hope to hold the first lottery in 10 days from now. Folks who don't win, we'll do a couple of staggered lotteries as the waves come in. One thing I want to emphasize, though, that we will be people can get reimbursed, so this should not hold up people from moving forward with their plans. They will be eligible to submit receipts for things that they already purchased to implement outdoor dining.
They still would have to, of course, win the lottery to get that reimbursement. Yeah. The lottery's being run like the NBA, by the way. So sports fans, it's a weighted lottery like the NBA draft. Yes, the question is how many permits roughly have been applied for this, and we do have some initial figures. Do you remember?
There's 30.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have had 30 businesses apply for the land use permit to date.
All right, any others? Okay, well, listen, enjoy your weekends. Stay safe, be healthy, eat outdoors, and enjoy your open space. Thank you.